Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite Legends gaming podcast. I'm your host Ben, and with me as always are my co-hosts.
Mikey Deals.
What's going on? It's Matt.
Yo, it's Andrew.
Yeah, gotta plug the deals right away.
Yeah, right at the top.
In the building.
After this, I will be packaging up and shipping off some cards. So,
how are you recovering from that? Like you texted us heated that one day that some asshole dinged you.
Debilitating Yelp review.
Yeah,
not debilitating at all. I got so many more good reviews. It was fine.
Excellent. We love to see it. We like to see the deals art continue.
Yeah, forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah, unfortunately, the deals arc that is weighing and balancing new video game releases is one fraught with peril. Viewers and listeners will know my recent experience with pre-ordering and trying to play the new Saints Row went poorly.
There's a small contingency of people now who are like, the game's patched, it's not that bad.
It's still boring. It's still boring. They could fix all the technical issues and it'd still be a boring game.
Well, I know. I just think it's funny that it's
very
like
funny.
Hit that part of the cycle.
But Andrew, you're the one to have the most recent truly heated gaming moment. And folks, if you want to see it, it's on our YouTube channel under the video title "Hooting and Grooting," because the man just
hooting.
Hooting from his just absolute frustration with a new game to then just switching to Guardians of the Galaxy.
At least you didn't pay for it directly because you have the PS Plus subscription, which you pay for passively.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I feel less bad. But but hit him with what game are we talking about though?
Yeah, so we're talking about Steel Rising.
Free 2-hour demo.
Yeah, free 2-hour demo, robotic French Revolution. And yeah, I waited long enough for there to be a demo, not purposefully, but it definitely saved me the $50 they're charging for the game, because I was not.
When I was watching you play, like the price tag was like a meter in my like HUD. I was just watching the money on the side just decrease, and like you would do those like laggy dodge dash things.
Yeah.
And like it would just like chunk down like $5 every time you did that.
So bad. It was not, the combat was just very disappointing. Hitboxes made no sense. I had watched of that video, Ben, that you sent. I forget who the publisher was, but it was a preview and they were pretty positive about the combat, and I would not be.
Yeah, I'll look that up. I know so there was a couple. I don't know if I sent you all of them. I know.
Yeah, I think it was the Game Snacks one.
I know Stephanie.
Is that 10 things you need to know before you play the game?
Essentially, yeah.
I feel like this one was not necessarily a 10
It
thing.
wasn't
it was game ranks.
Yes,
I think it was game ranks. Yeah, and I think it was it was just before you buy it was
Game Snacks or Doritos and Cheetos.
Yeah, it was game ranks, which was fairly positive, and so was Stephanie Sterling. They were pretty positive as well, like talking about with some particular builds that the combat was satisfying.
Say the VGO podcast had like decent to nice things to say about it.
Yeah, so there is always a chance that I just actually suck at video games, and that's why it was frustrating. So
every day we say we grow closer to the end and grow closer to being bad at video games. Yeah, like our
that's when you so instead of like moving the animals upstate to a farm, that's when you move to farming simulators.
yeah.
With boy howdy, do we have so many?
Nintendo's got you covered there. But oh man, like our millennial synapses just ain't firing like they used to, baby.
Nope. Nope, they are.
But it was I unfortunately didn't catch it live. I had to watch the VOD of you rage quitting, which is always fun to see when no matter who does
See,
it.
I didn't witness the rage quit because once you started to get into like the midst of the rage, I started playing Xenoblade and put you on the side. Looked over, and all of a sudden, Guardians of the Galaxy was on. I was like,
oh, that happened. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, initially I said I got to like the first mini boss and was gonna try and beat him.
You said you were determined to kill him. I
Yeah.
saw how much damage you were doing when you were hitting him, and it was like, he's not killing this guy.
Yeah, no. He was doing so much more damage and had so much more reach that
you were trading hits with a guy who was hitting you for like 80% of your health, while you were hitting him for like a barely visible decrease in health bar size.
Yeah, it was not a fun time. So yeah, I stuck it out. I got to like an hour 15 and spent like probably 15-20 minutes on that boss before I finally said
probably closer to 20 to 25, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, we have the VOD.
Right,
we can check
You
it.
were there for a decent chunk of time.
yeah. So
Yeah, there is video proof. Again, for those interested, go check it out.
I got you on tape.
On our YouTube, yeah.
Clip it, guys. Get the fans to clip it. Prove who's right.
yeah. So Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, fun game.
It is.
I enjoyed it.
Slept on.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. You're almost at the end, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he looks like he is.
It's
I
a
was
fun.
Going after Adam Warlock.
It's definitely
Yeah,
a fun one.
I just completed
Ooh.
that.
Ooh, Adam
yesterday.
Warlock is a fun ad.
Yeah. Do you get to control him?
No. He's just silly. He's just silly on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But yeah, the current gaming is looking, it's got its hits and misses. But we've gotten our more than our fair share of looks now at future games, because oh boy, we're taking on water, folks. There are leaks everywhere.
You mean accidental?
There is that's like our main story of today is just like how many fucking like leaks we've been getting recently, and the sheer number and scale of them has been pretty ridiculous. Like the main one that's on everybody's mind is on September 18th, over 90 video clips and stills, the videos like equaling up to over an hour were posted
it was almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
the longest video I found before they were all destroyed.
But yeah, GTA 6 leaks on popular fan site GTA Forums was showing off unfinished assets, parts of the world, gunplay, NPC AI. To tie it back, look better than no matter what the shitty fans said, fans,
Saints
quote
Row.
unquote, it looked much better and probably performed better than Saints Row. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, literally.
Like if that didn't outperform Saints Row in technicality, like what are you doing?
It was confirmed that some of the stuff that like had just been rumor up to this point, the main one being it has confirmed the dual male-female protagonists. Your Reddit
they're going woke,
Yeah.
and they're going
Bonnie and
rogue.
Clyde, baby. Bonnie and Clyde were woke.
But the Reddit sleuths are at it. Matt was telling us before recording about just all the fun, wholesome stuff that they're getting up to in regards to what has been shown about the female protagonist. We'll leave that to your imagination, folks. But just like the technical bits, the leaks were posted by an account called Teapot Uber Hacker, which, as the name implies, is believed to be behind, or at least part of the recent
Uber hack as well.
Uber breach. Yeah. But according to
been caught.
That's the most recent update. But according to Rockstar, they don't believe that this account was like stolen or something, but that apparently it was stuff shared between two hackers known as Teapot, that former, and someone named Lily, who don't believe actually has the assets in their control, but they've been like warning the community like not to engage with them for their own security. But the first wave of confirmation of the legitimacy of the hacks came as Take-Two, Rockstar's parent company, started issuing DMCA and takedown requests. the footage and the clips are all gone from like the YouTube and Reddit, the major, YouTube and Reddit
I
threads.
saw it before it was gone, man. I've seen
I seen it with my own eyes.
I did not watch long enough. I put it up and like
I
watched for,
scrubbed
like,
through
10
the 2-hour
minutes.
video to see what was in there, and then was like, I'm not spending 2 hours watching
Yeah.
developmental footage.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
I got bored really fast. I was interested, but like, I got bored. But then Rockstar fully confirms the hack. They have a statement here, which I think is worth reading just because it kind of sheds a little bit of light maybe on what the potential repercussions of this are going to be. So they posted, we recently started a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early developmental footage for the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects, which you would assume include GTA 6. That's like the only project they're actually working on at the moment.
Yep, because they're not doing Red Dead
Yeah,
until after GTA.
Yeah, they've notoriously stopped doing production on anything else, which we've covered in previous episodes. The statement continues: "We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next GTA game will continue as planned, and we remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again
doubt they
soon. And
will.
of course, we'll I mean, yeah, if the, again, I do strong scare quotes, fan base is anything to say, like, no, you're never gonna we've
Please
talked about this
everyone.
in other games. You're never gonna please anybody, and you should never try to. So they say, we will update everyone again soon, and of course we'll probably introduce you to this game when it's ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support, blah blah blah. Final little bits. Yeah, Uber has made a statement that the FBI was involved in their hack, and since it's believed that the same group was involved, they were considering it that the FBI was looking in the GTA hack as well. But we've since learned that they have worked with the UK cyber crimes unit or whatever, have
The Oi Bros.
supposedly
Don't they have like a lot of child porn to be dealing with
over there. Yeah,
opposed to this?
I mean, in
No, 'cause
America, too.
that's the majority of what the cyber crimes unit is doing, is that they're selling the said child
Yeah.
pornography.
Doing the cyber crimes.
Yeah. A 17-year-old suspect was just arrested the other day, like the day or two before recording, was arrested in Oxfordshire, bruv.
Wait, bro.
Was believed to be behind these two hacks. That has obviously not been fully confirmed. We just know that this suspect remains in custody.
My favorite joke that's come out of this has been how there's definitely going to be a mission in GTA 6 where you like track down and beat the shit out of a hacker.
Yeah, there's a game hacker that you got to find and beat the shit out of him. You get hired as a fixer by the in-world Rockstar company. Incredible stuff.
Imagine being like the guy who's in charge of Rockstar's cybersecurity and knowing a 17-year-old has just owned your ass.
Yeah, 'cause he's probably like a 55-year-old man who doesn't understand the internets.
It's like you probably don't need to like be too.
Okay.
concerned.
No, they probably have.
You don't need to be too concerned about them anymore because they probably don't have a job.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the executive. I'm talking about the people that still design the
Gotcha.
shit. Like,
You say those people are in their low 40s right now. They've grown up with the internet at the right age, so they've been there the whole time, slowly learning it. They're the lore masters you need to talk to. I have a coworker who's played on MUDs.
Amazing. I would love to pick his brain. That's like
He's one of the most interesting human beings I've ever
Played
met.
on what?
Did he like MUDs? We talked about them in one of our Lost episodes. The old mainframe computers. Did he play like the original Dungeon?
I haven't asked him too much into it, but he was talking about it like tangentially to someone else.
That what a time, man.
that like
That-
just
that shit was
purely
in-
text based, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, there was no like screen interface or anything for that, but like they had like really complex fucking like AI and shit. Like you had like real like levels of choice. They had the full, I mean, it was called Dungeon. It was the original advanced Dungeons and Dragons rule set put into this mainframe computer that were like basically kind of networked amongst other mainframes, and you had like full adventuring capabilities and stuff, and like you could input your choices and it would reflect it back to you, and had like enemy AI and that kind of stuff. So it was crazy. But yeah, it's text based. It would like you'd input the commands probably in binary, and then it would spit it back out to you on a little spool. You guys remember like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? There's like one of the guys is like, it's like I've developed a computer to find the next one. He's inputting things in it, and it's like rips off the little pieces of like dot matrix paper, and it basically tells him to go fuck himself. So yeah, that's basically what that shit would be doing, but in old timey dungeon speak.
I always reference Programming Humor, one of my favorite Reddits. There was a meme where it was like programming in the old days, and it was like the Chad dog. It was like I wrote like manually like dot matrix coding for punch card reading on a Fortran like interfacing system. And it's like then like the sad dog on the side. It's like modern programmers. It's like my keyboard has too much latency to my monitor.
So back to Rockstar, what do we think is going to be the actual ramifications from this? Because like we've seen a bunch of talk. Like Bloomberg's Jason Schreier was probably like one of the most vocal
he
about
confirmed it. He was the original confirmation that came out first.
Yeah, it was like following him live, like he was talking about it and like mentioning how like this is going to be like disaster. This is a disaster for Rockstar. It's like the largest leaks in gaming history, which you can't deny with that. But like then he also talked about it in his own podcast. That
he woke up at 2:30 in the morning because he's got a newborn. And he's got all of these like notifications already of like, hey, like what's going on? Like, do you see this?
But yeah, so he said that like one of the possibilities is that due to the nature of the breach, it could jeopardize their work from home policy, which would signal a major blow to like Rockstar's widely touted reforms to their stressful development process, which we also talked about on a recent episode.
Because of the use of Slack.
Yeah, the rumor is that somebody like was compromised to a permanent end through Slack.
I mean, I think obviously that'll suck if they do that, but large scale impact is going to be minimal. This is marketing. Like I free to them. I don't think
they can
no one's going to not buy the
game.
Use
marketing money to push the fact that this is good. Be like, we're like doing this for security so that GTA can be the best game we can give you.
Yeah.
Like when we were like talking about it in the group chat, when this was all like happening in real time, if it was through Slack, I mean, Andrew, you brought it up, the point that's like you use Slack in Office, and I don't necessarily know how it would be any different. Like how you still got to log in, you could still potentially be phished, I
mean, just an excuse to micromanage people more by getting them under your fucking fingertips.
It's like, oh, like yeah, Slack is the issue, not necessarily work from home, but like they could maybe be like, oh, we need to implement like new technical
go to Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Change to Teams, or make them put in another RSA code.
It's like, we need to implement some type of new technical infrastructure that for some reason that they can come up with, is easier done in Office versus at home, which I think is bullshit. And I don't necessarily know that they would. I kind of doubt that it's going to have that effect, because that has been such a marketing boon for Rockstar in terms of the actual media coverage they're getting which is the only people who actually care about about what the work-life culture is. It's media sickos like us, and say the few like leftist gamers, also us, who actually care about those things. The large consuming base.
That's right. We're the only ones.
Yeah, they don't care at all. Of course, absolutely. We're the only leftist gaming podcast, folks. But it's like I don't see them backing off that anytime soon. Though.
Yeah, I really think this is going to end up. Maybe it will slow production slightly, but I don't think it's going to negatively impact Rockstar.
No press ever negatively impacts a corporation like that. You know what I mean? Like,
and especially when, again, like this is a supposedly pretty early development game at the moment, and fucking look good. Like we said earlier, like there's to an extent looks better than Saints Row already. So
Matt, do you know was this an in-house engine or like an Unreal? Okay, it's not Unreal. So
Rockstar uses their own engine.
Yeah, because an in-house engine that looked that good is definitely really impressive, because we all know Unreal looks great.
Just don't look too closely at the foliage, people. It's like the one knock on Unreal 5 is like it has trouble with like small leaves, apparently.
Huh, interesting.
It's like, I'm like, if you're zooming in to the background leaves on a bush.
You're a
Matt,
sicko.
can you confirm though about the state of the source code in the leak? That's the one big thing I saw that could hamper that could
I fucking
hamper.
I fucking love. Oh, I have the fucking source code, people. Like you gotta ante up. It's like, okay, do you know how source code works? If you don't have all of the assets required to run it, you basically just have numbers. You have numbers that just mean nothing to anything else in this world because they're calling to assets that you don't have access to. Like it's just such a funny thing. Like that's.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's one of the many rumors about why Final Fantasy VIII never got remastered for the longest time. And it was like, oh, Square Enix lost the source code.
Okay,
like,
right.
What the fuck does that mean?
I saw a headline. I didn't actually read the article, but it was basically saying like, do you actually have to deal with like ransomware things? Does that shit actually ever work? And that seems like a fair answer. Basically call their bluff. But I mean, as the statement they make kind of puts forward, that they at least are saying in their marketing speak that it won't have any tangible impact on the development process, in terms of they're not going to have to redo or I mean, I think the important one is noting that how they said it's not going to affect their live games, because people are saying like, oh, like that leaves them
online, baby.
Like that leaves them, vulnerable to cyber attack because they have the source code. It's just like I'm ignorant when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
it's
I mean, if you can figure out if you can figure out from the incoherent sheet of numbers that a source code essentially is, without all of the proper things to generate off of it, figure out a way to intrude into the net code of that specific type of game, like good for you. Like you deserve to get in. Like have fun.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. We'll keep our eyes and ears open for what happens for this. I mean, again, don't expect this game for like another fucking decade.
Oh, for sure. But that's like the crazy thing.
I loved all the people who are like, it looks bad. I was like, yeah, dude, it looks like development footage. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
And what's crazy to me about this is like, it's not like a new IP got leaked that is like, behind closed.
We're keeping the story under, we're trying to keep the story under wraps and all that.
It's fucking GTA.
You say new IP, but like GTA is the highest selling individual game.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean though. Like, no matter what, people are going to buy it, whether it's leaked or not.
And you know what you're getting.
Yes.
And you know what you're getting with it.
Exactly.
And the game was announced.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the
getting
game's
woke garbage from Wokestar.
And it's been how many years since GTA 5? Like, it's not like something like Forspoken, got released like really early on that like ruined their marketing rollout. Like your GTA marketing rollout doesn't matter because it's fucking GTA,
I mean, I would argue that no one can ruin Square Enix's marketing rollout because they're very good.
I mean, that was just
yeah. But also
that was the only new IP.
Just a good point,
though.
That the GTA marketing position has got to be one of the most make work jobs ever.
For sure.
So
that's just an email job.
Clock in, yeah. So this was obviously the major leak that everyone's talking about. It really kind of got swept up in it.
It shook the gaming world to its core for like 6 hours. I woke up and like scrolled over onto Reddit with my like sleepy crusted eyes and like opened it up. And it was the first like 6 articles that I scrolled through. It was just like leak, GTA leak 6 footage. GTA 6 character has a dumpy. Both of them.
But nobody's really talked about it at all. Like I only found like a couple articles about the Diablo 4 leak. About 45 minutes of gameplay footage, what's believed to be from a friends and family play test. Which is, for those who don't know, many developers get to bring friends and family in for testing before they start the alphas or betas or whatever, getting the public interest. And these still no, we're all sigmas here. We typically these typically operate under strict NDAs. This one though has been gone enough under the radar that Blizzard hasn't had to confirm anything about it.
You mentioned Willy Wonka earlier. I'm just picturing a shady man with a fedora hat standing outside offering people money to bring back footage of the Diablo 4 test.
What the fuck was that guy's name again? It's like in the back of my head. It's something funny.
It was something
and probably anti-Semitic.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I don't even know what the Google search would be for that, because I feel like it would put me on a list potentially.
Villain. Slugworth, Arthur Slugworth.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Very anti-Semitic.
But yeah, again, this is a similar one. It's like, it's fucking Diablo. You know what you're getting. Like
yes. They haven't fundamentally changed Diablo since.
The only thing that's could be news is, again, it's like, how are they going to monetize this into the ground? That's like the real question.
We've seen you, we've heard you, and Diablo Immortal is making buckets of money. So let me tell you about Diablo 4. For Mortal, maybe.
Man, at one point before I really looked a lot into it, everyone's like, oh, Diablo's like, one of the goated, dungeon crawler genres. I should really look into it and all that. And I just like look at the gameplay, and I just could not be any less interested in it.
I always reference the fact
that is definitely, it's called an action RPG, but that is absolutely a lean back game.
For sure.
I remember seeing commercials for it when we were younger, like high school time, for I think it was the Diablo 3 Necromancer of Fear or something.
Sure, yeah, okay.
And it was like this really cool like CG trailer of some like
the trailers are sick.
They're always
like scythe
sick.
wielding demon, and like no gameplay whatsoever in the trailer. So then you go to like the store and you see it on the shelf. You're like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. And then you like flip the game over and you look at the back and you see the actual gameplay. And you're like, you've lied to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how could you have done this?
I rented a Diablo game from a Redbox in college once, and I played about 10 minutes of it because I got to the combat, and then I was like, oh,
on with this.
This is boring.
No, that is absolutely a lean back game where you play it like you're listening to a podcast. You should be doing actual.
You're
work.
playing that. You're watching a show
clicking
while listening to a podcast, because you're reading the subtitles on the show while listening to the podcast while clicking on the background.
Yeah, real neurodivergent hours right there.
Couldn't be me.
All right, so let's move on from that one. This is less about the leak per se, but about the leaker. This did get more news.
This is hilarious.
And like, so the Assassin's Creed leaker accidentally reveals himself doing the unforgivable Twitter sin of replying to his alt account from Maine, revealing identity. Like that's fucking rookie moves right there. You always got to keep those accounts separate, folks. But yes, this was
even
Australian.
Kevin Durant does better with his burners.
Australian YouTuber Dan Allen, a pretty successful YouTuber with like 200K subs, had posted under the alias The Real Insider, and so this account, like,
Fucking Real Insider, I forgot that was the name.
It soared to fame because it confirmed various details about the Assassin's Creed games from the recent Ubisoft Forward. Most notably, I'm like 99% sure they are the one who confirmed the Assassin's Creed Mirage title,
Yes.
the ones that were it was again
Also,
the leak was.
Hex.
Yeah, no, he had all of them. He had all the code names, but like I just remember it was the Ubisoft had to before, again, very sad before
Very
the Forward be
sad.
like, yes, it's like, yes, this is true. This is so, glaring, and they even have the artwork and all that. We can't deny that because then when we do announce, people are gonna be like, what the fuck? So yeah, they had to the week before they had to do it. So yeah, so this guy had been pre-briefed by Ubisoft. He was like a content partner with Ubisoft. Had gotten all the contents of the Forward presentation under embargo, which always entails an NDA.
Non-disclosure agreements.
And so yeah, this guy did the Twitter no, posted so somebody replied to the burner the alt account, he replies to that with his main account, and then immediately deletes it, and then deletes the account, but the internet is forever, everybody notices. But then
I love when people think that deleting things makes it go away on the internet. That's so cute.
I mean, the reaction was like so momentary because it was basically, it's like he did that, tried to hide for probably less than a day, and had to come out with a weepy apology on his YouTube channel, owning up to it.
He tried to
please
come at the
don't
goat.
take all my money.
Yeah.
No, he's basically like, yeah, I've lost everything. Like, I've not only have I lost industry friends and connections, but I've actually lost personal friends over this.
Hilarious. I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
But I think the funniest thing I've heard was like he got in like a spat with like Jason Schreier over the leaks. Because like I guess he proved something Jason said wrong. And he was like, I see, like, don't come at the king, like I got you. And then when his like YouTube channel got like accidentally like linked to it because he's an idiot, Jason Schreier was like, yeah, like I like sat down and like talked to him for a little bit. And it was like, was he just like giving him a Brooklyn threat down? Like you don't come for the king unless you're ready to.
Yeah, you better not miss. So the last bit though is Ubisoft has responded, not directly, and doesn't necessarily name this guy, but they said, we regularly provide access and information to our games under NDA to trusted partners. When that trust is compromised or information is leaked by an individual, it's not only damaging and demoralizing to our teams, but it takes away from an exciting reveal moment and experience for our players. We won't speak on an individual case. We do take these matters seriously and will manage accordingly. Again, we should also we have no we care not, say, for the loss that say Ubisoft finds from this. Again, I mean, yeah, maybe at most it's like the demoralizing factor for the teams that worked on it. But let's be real. For say this one in particular, those who were demoralized were the fucking marketing team. That's like, oh my god, they stole our thunder.
Put so much work into our marketing.
We sent so many emails.
Yeah, but the developers can still be proud of their work. It's not going to affect people playing or seeing their stuff.
But I will say, if the fucking movement is in this game is as glitchy as fucking Valhalla, and like the worst movement of all the Assassin's
and if you're saying that the most forgiving of the Assassin's Creed franchise of us, says a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this guy is going to need to fucking lawyer up, or in his case, solicitor up, because he's
I know a lawyer
because he's Australian.
Oh, Australia.
Yeah, Mike, you going to defend this guy?
Not even a lawyer yet, so can't be pretending to be one.
I mean, I think this guy is probably the French are coming for him, folks.
Oh, for sure. They already think he's a criminal because he lives in Australia.
The French send criminals there?
No, the UK.
I thought they banished them to like a specific island.
What was the one where Napoleon was from? That
Corsica.
They did that a lot. Yeah.
Or Sardinia. I think he might have been Corsica.
They do that a lot.
Exile.
Yeah, so that's like our that's our large publisher news for today.
That's the leaks and geeks, baby.
Absolutely. The latest thing that has gotten the indie scene up and huff is a new publisher emerges from the ether. Massively popular gaming YouTuber Video Game Donkey has announced Big Mode, a new indie publisher run by himself and his wife Leah.
I didn't know he was a sex haver. Good for him.
Apparently, no,
he says wife. He doesn't say he has kids.
Yeah. In this economy,
his child is his publishing company.
So obviously, like, you know, he's got his army of loyal fans that are out there, and they're all positive on this, but many indie devs are skeptical, and I think this is a interesting conversation to have, because there are interesting points to be had on both sides, but like I kind of feel like I know where I come down on it, but it's I'm willing to be persuaded. But I mean, I'll say first off, it's always a good thing when you have somebody with, you know, the money to, you know, support indie devs. Sure, that's great. But it's more about, can they actually fulfill the promise? You know, because indie devs are, you know, even more
precarious.
Well, in even more precarious situation, or even more vulnerable, obviously, to, you know, having their work, you know, be exploited, and to not see profit from it, and just have to, like, you know, shove it onto Game Pass and lose money from it.
Like, that's part of the pitch that he does that I don't like, where he's like, you know, like, show us your game, but like, we'll give you feedback to like help make it like a better game, you know, because I've been doing this for so long. And it's kind of,
let's be clear, what he's been doing is playing video games, and that's what everyone is pointing out, is that the playing video games does not translate to making video games.
And my look at it is like, his reviews of games are very subjective.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's one of those, like, you can't help that because it's a subjective review. But there are people who are looking at it and they're talking about how, like, he doesn't like turn-based games. So if you like make a turn-based game, you probably shouldn't go to him because he's probably going to tell you to change the game and stuff like that. Like, there's going to be parts of genres that he's not going to. Is he going to be able to help those devs without trying to take away too much of their autonomy?
Because he claims he's like, I know what always works and what always doesn't, and it's like that. I think that has definitely been borne out. I think he does have a pretty decent critical eye most of the time, but he like anybody has their genres and their aspects that they don't like. But
he has besmirched the Xenoblade fandom. He's blacklisted on Xenoblade.
He's very anti JRPG, and it's like, that is a huge fucking market, you know. Like, so you can't, like, I kind of call bullshit on that bit, that it's like that. Yeah, that's he knows all just because he's played video games for so long. But yeah, you had plenty of like indie devs coming out and saying like, yeah, like, we got somebody here, Chris Schilling on Twitter, says like, yeah, despite the fact that you played lots of video games as your relevant experience, hell, maybe I should start my own indie publisher if that's all you need. So yeah, someone's saying, lol, Donkey starting a publishing company with the ethos, I've played so many games, I know what makes them good and bad, so I'll only publish good ones. About to learn some stuff the hard way. says Dave Makes on Twitter.
When I saw the Chris Schilling tweet that you included, I initially read Kurt Schilling. And I was like, well, that's Schilling, kind of funny because you don't either.
Weird story. Yeah, see, Kurt Schilling did try to get into game development and failed miserably.
Terribly. To the point where he almost bankrupted the state of Rhode Island.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the name of the game? What was the name of the game? I saw a video on it, but I forget. I would say Kurt Schilling.
I don't even think it ever got released.
No, it didn't. I don't know if it did either. So it was 38 Studios was the name. Did it ever release a game?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so.
What made him think?
Oh no, it released one, Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh yes, Kingdoms of Amalur, which bombed on initial release and then was remastered like 6 years later, and then people like took the rematch like, hey, this is actually like a hidden gem, like not that bad.
Yeah, no, it's like people were saying that it was pretty good, but it was just absolutely mismanaged, like just completely bag fumbles. But like actually had a pretty good.
Did that
pretty
release
good game.
alongside Skyrim? There's a fantasy game that released alongside Skyrim that got forgotten to the ether.
Maybe.
No, it was Kingdom Come Deliverance. Similar name.
So we got another one. So this is Danny O'Dwyer from the really good video game documentary channel No Clip. He says that we got to drop the naive shtick that having opinions on games is a qualification for understanding just about anything about development. And I think these are all valid arguments. They are, however, kind of pretty well countered by the based and goated games journalist Jason Schreier. We should note this is now a James Schreier appreciation podcast.
Yeah.
But he had some really good tweets that counter this in some way, but I think are still somewhat lacking. But obviously, he's tweeting tongue in cheek.
We should become Jason Schreier reply guys.
Yeah. Can't believe Donkey started a video game publisher with no experience instead of taking the normal approach, getting a Harvard MBA, working at McKinsey for 5 years, and then failing upward between C-suites for the rest of your life.
True. It's fucked up, Donkey. You got to go the traditional route.
I think
shortcuts.
Yeah. So again, obviously he's memeing there, but it's neither of those are good, right? And particularly again for indie things, you want people who have experience, because then somebody down here makes I think probably the best point. Say good publishing is a relatively complex organization. Selection, branding, marketing, production support, platform contacts, localization connections, QA connections, release management. And to take pressure off the dev, all those need to fire correctly at the same time. This is Rami Ismail, developer for Vlambeer. And he says, actually they say, I don't know their gender, that I played lots of, from someone who's saying that their publishing qualifications are, I played lots of games, to any indie devs who are considering or going this route with big mode. And it says, make sure your upfront is 130% of a well-paid, comfortable budget. Yeah, secure your bag, and go for it. If he's got money to throw around, absolutely, but make sure you're protecting yourself. The other major thing that that struck me as really odd in his game is he's again citing his credentials in the indie sphere. Basically it's it sounded as
the games he listed.
It sounded as if he was taking credit for the success of probably the most successful indie games of the last half decade. So he names Hollow Knight, mm-hmm. Hades. Yeah. Enter the Gungeon. What was another really good one?
He had Shovel Knight on there too.
Yeah. So the one that you actually do have to give him credit for it, because this comes from one of the programmers, was Celeste. So Noel Berry, a programmer for Celeste, was very supportive of this. He says, I think Donkey, I genuinely think Donkey has a good eye for fun design, and if he wants to throw money at indie devs, why not? Sure, they might hit some hard realities of making games, but that's how you learn. I can't speak for the other games he mentions in this video, but he also found Celeste way before it came out, followed it for a year, and made a day one video on it because he liked our demo. I don't think it was weird for him to use it as an example. So he gets the pass on Celeste, but it's all these other ones are literally say game Hades was a fucking game of the year. It's you, Donkey, you did not, find Hades, So
Hades
that one was
success.
a little, that was a little fucking weird.
I still even hold a little bit of grain of salt with the Celeste thing, because Celeste still was incredibly popular even with just other people getting their hands on the game, because it the genre that it brought back of the tight platformer, Super Meat Boy. I mean,
sure, he has an enormous platform, bringing 7 million eyes to it. That's his most recent subscriber count. Is not nothing.
Yes.
But I mean, again, so I come down on it. It's just if you want,
I view that more as he has an eye that he liked that type of game and he found it early. but just because he liked it, not because.
Yeah. So what do you guys think though about Big Mo?
I mean, like, I think,
Cool logo.
pouring money
Yeah, I like the
into.
frog. Well, that's the joke. That's the joke though, isn't it? Because he's had in recent videos just that he's like, it was like the year of the frog game, the indie frog game, and now his logo is a frog.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, Matt or Mike, I cut you off.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, he's throwing money at indie studios. I mean, that's cool. It's better than just another big
Better
corporation.
than him holding on to the money.
VC.
Yeah, it's better than him holding on to the money, or letting.
I'd prefer if he invested it all in crypto. Start an NFT company. Sell me NFT Big Yoshi.
That would be a real contribution.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucked up. Wasting it on poor devs.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he says they're going to give devs good deals, as long as he does, like, whatever. Let's see how it goes. I'm not going to say,
is this the Donkey Deals arc?
But there's worse. There's worse out there.
Agreed. Speaking of the worst that
out there
the internet has to offer,
Mm-hmm.
We move over to more of Mike's at least area of interest, if not expertise. There has been news and drama galore coming out of our favorite online streaming platform, Twitch. There is been an absolute dearth of these truly toxic and dangerous and damaging major streamers doing these gambling streams, like sponsored gambling, the Gamba meta.
Well, I mean, and that's not even solely why fucking Twitch has been imploding this past week. So there's the gambling meta, but the reason
what happened was
that was
gambling triggered XQC, and then XQC went into withdrawals and started just triggering everything else.
Well, I mean, what's part of
he was turning the nuclear keys.
It's like I tweeted. It's like it started from a real issue, and then shit has exploded because these are all literal high schoolers with millions of dollars at their disposal. So it's just the drama. It's so fucking funny. But sorry,
the gambling meta has been or the issue with it has been at least like a year.
It's
almost exactly a year that Hassan and Ethan Klein confronted Trainwrecks and XQC and ended up birthing the Leftovers podcast. But what really brought it back was, I can't remember the streamer's name, but a streamer that does not do gambling streams got information came out that he had been taking money from his fans and asking money from other streamers to feed his gambling addiction.
Isn't it like It's Liker or something?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah,
Slicker.
And
something,
so minimum of $300,000 that he is asked from friends, from fans, citing various trouble, money troubles, whatever, but just fueling his gambling addiction. So
agent behavior.
Yeah, and came out of that's like a mental health crisis. That's an addiction crisis.
That's the whole reason people are say from the left are critiquing the gambling thing is because gambling is a serious issue. And,
so it came out of
probably one of the most corrosive
I wish they would do it with sports gambling too. That's the other one.
So it came out of look at what is happening to this person type thing, and then as you said, it's fueled XQC getting pissed off, and it just being I'm the center of attention.
I am the main character. This is me.
Also, on top of
he is the top streamer on the platform.
and he and his girlfriend just had a public breakup. So there was that on top of it. So there's all these things going boom, 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 boom. So then on top of that, when the gambling shit was popping off again, Trainwrecks tweeted at Mizkif something about him covering up sexual assault. So that
it was more Trainwrecks was responding to somebody about how they're coming for us, blah blah blah, and like for calling us scammers, and then Miskiff tweeted like if scamming is grounds for banning, then we should ban you because he scammed people for some like crypto coin thing. And so then Trainwreck responded is like, yeah, that called him out for him and his and Miskiff's former girlfriend Maya, also another popular streamer, for working to cover up sexual assault. And so let's remember that Miskiff is
this is also the theoretical nuke that XQC was threatening him with when they were making fun of him, arguing with him about canceling that event that he was supposed to go to.
Yes, he didn't show up to shit camp, which was like another thing. So it is largely revolving around
to sit at home and gamble was the funny part that I thought about that.
All revolving around XQC being a piece of shit. And then so that popped off. Oh, and then this is just a separate one that I think is hilarious. Former Hasanabi viewer turned chess grandmaster got accused of cheating by putting a butt plug in his ass that was like giving him the moves or whatever.
Based on vibrations. I love
the memes of like, if you can explain to me how a vibrating butt plug can help you cheat at chess, like I will.
Yeah. So like so that popped off, and it's just been like a whirlwind of just nonsense on the stream, and Ben, like you described it perfectly. It's just, and Matt said it as well, like it's just high school, people peaked in high school fighting over high school type shit that like is the drama is high school like, but the real like the implications of the drama are real, like sexual assault, absolutely. Gambling addictions, 13-year-olds becoming addicted to gambling.
I think one of the most disgusting things that's come out of this for me is just like the idea that people held on to this information as like a weapon to use against someone.
Well, it had coming
out with it when you know about it.
But it had come out a year ago or like over a year ago. And what had happened supposedly is like Miskiff and Maya approached the girl and were like kind of coached her through like a going public, but in it like didn't, they may not have like swayed her against saying it was sexual harassment or not. Or sexual
but
assault.
I'm just more bringing up the fact that there are people who've used this, like held on to this knowledge over a length of time to this point, who are using it now as a weapon versus, bringing it forward the second they found out about it. Like that's the type of weaponizing.
Yeah, high school petty bullshit.
Yeah.
So Twitch has recently banned most gambling. They are definitely still keeping sports gambling.
Amazon needs that Thursday night football deal to keep going, so they're not going to get rid of sports gambling.
It was really
if you've watched any modern sport,
it's fully ingrained in the.
If you watch any modern sport, you will be bombarded with sports gambling ads during every action.
FanDuel, is an official sponsor.
When you watch NBA games, you get over-unders constantly on like bet now on like, is this player at halftime gonna have like literal live betting?
So it's this says they are banning gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed either in the U.S. or other jurisdictions.
I didn't know that.
Sufficient consumer protection.
That's hilarious. That's fantastic. So they didn't do anything. I didn't read enough into like what they actually did. They barely banned anything.
I also think it's hilarious.
I think
if you're gambling real money,
but like,
because like the actual stream stuff was like crypto backed fucking like casinos in
you're sponsored to go gamble to show people how fun gambling is and how much money you can make, but not show them the fact that it's not your money that you're using.
Yeah, I mean that's a separate issue from the fact that like what Twitch is now banning is specifically those like crypto backed, like offshored in like a tax haven.
I was going to bring up Rollbit.com, Duelbits.com, Roobet.com.
If you're gambling digital slot machines with real money, you're an absolute sucker. That is like you're already playing the game that is rigged for certain percentages to like pay out at casinos, but now you're playing it on an algorithm. Like
again, they're maybe suckers, but they're largely very sick people.
Yeah.
But so then riding this upswing in approval because all the people were like major content creators like like Hassan and Pokimane were like, we're gonna boycott and strike on Twitch if they don't gamble it. And so then there's like, riding this upswing of approval after they ban these types of gambling things. Twitch has then, just snuck in this change to their partner profit sharing, eliminating the 70-30 split of
dropping it at like
profits.
3 a.m.
Yeah, this was something that some of its top earners had seen in previous contracts, and they're just now going to the a blanket 50-50 split. And so I just think of it and like their reasoning that they're just like, ooh, we $1 billion company owned by $1 trillion company.
Yeah, so it's
a small bean who is struggling in these hard times, just like you.
It's 70-30 up to 100K, and everything over 100K is down to 50-50.
Which they've been signaling that they were going to make that change for a long time. That was like, and one, I think like Pokimane not going to YouTube kind of stalled that, because there was a chance that she went. But like, one of the reasons that Ludwig went was because they weren't going to give him a good contract, and YouTube was going to pay out. And all of these streamers, and even this is kind of coming on the back of that big boon of Twitch trying to compete with Mixer, and all of those contracts that there was like 2 cycles of contracts. Mixer. Yeah. And they had 2 cycles of contracts that they were paying out, doing a lot of the 70-30 splits. I think even some of the teams have a 70-10-20, where 70 to the individual, 10 to the team, 20 to Twitch. So I wonder how those contracts are now going to be split up, or if they're going to do, make any changes there or give anything to the team. Or if that's just going to come out of the creator's cut.
There may have been something about esports in here. It's a very lengthy thing that I do.
You just triggered a core memory of Mixer for me, Mike, when I was on Xbox and they were pushing it with like so many like "Hello Fellow Kids" ads, where it would show like Ninja gaming on his Xbox.
Yeah,
it's like you could be like Ninja, stream your gaming on Ninja, or like Mixer with Ninja. It's like, no, like please stop. Take this off my front page, Xbox, please. Ninja's like happy face over the amount of money that he's being paid for this ad.
Terrifying.
But so yeah, what do we think this potentially means for small creators? I mean,
nothing. They weren't getting much money. They weren't getting that 70-30 split
anyway.
Yeah. None of them had that, so it doesn't matter.
But I mean more like you said, this implosion to the platform that you were referencing as well.
I honestly don't know. I don't know if the drama is gonna, sour people with some of the bigger streamers, and they may seek out smaller.
Do they leave the platform, or do they fly to different channels?
That's exactly. Or do they just like some of the juicers, because they're fucking 13 years old, have just doubled down and they're like, I love my XQC, I love my juicer, he can do no wrong.
Yeah, no, his stream numbers are as high as ever.
Yeah,
he wasn't gambling and was back up from like I mean, it's minuscule in his terms, but from like 65K to over 80K.
Yeah.
So it's
no, I think
no impact to him.
Yes, especially because of you look at what the demographic is. It's like younger boys that are
Andrew Tate.
I mean, yeah, it's like Andrew Tate light at this point. Without like the rampant and like clear cut misogyny. It's it's more hidden.
What we just like we've talked about it, like has Mizkiv taken a hit from this at all?
I don't think
out
so.
of OTK or whatever that is.
He's on leave while they do an investigation.
Because he's an owner.
Yeah, he's a founder and owner.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, remember
I appreciate the fact that most of these names just are all just like a jello to me that just like goes right over my head. They're all just like made up words.
But maybe you'll remember because we probably watched on stream once the OTK E3 stream thing that they did, where Mizkiff was the one who's like, I love platformers. I've played platformers for over a year.
That was him?
And he could only name one platform.
And it wasn't even a platformer.
Yeah. I forget what. It was like probably like some like Roblox type game.
Roblox.
I play Minecraft, my favorite platformer.
Yeah, that was Mizkiff. That was him. So you know who it is, but just from that. People should look up that clip. It's very funny. Yeah, we don't need to like spend more time on the drama because again, I just like thought like it was just interesting to see like what this potentially means for the platform as a whole. Is Twitch done?
Nope.
Twitch is dead, folks. Bury it.
No, I don't think that'll ever really happen.
But I just
I mean, if
so annoying. It's so annoying though, just to see again, just like even like say because I mean how Twitch operates is like you as a viewer have like your one streamer.
Yep.
And again, to see them like who you would thought were ostensibly serious people, again get pulled into this high school crap is so ridiculous and just makes me so disinterested in
I'm
consuming any content.
I would be interested in seeing if like the older demographic on Twitch drops off, but like the younger demographic that really like matters to their numbers and to
they're thriving.
Yeah,
they're thriving.
Exactly.
Off this
they probably draw people in because
they're in high school.
Well, and I bet you there's a good amount of like Andrew Tate stragglers that are like looking for someone to fucking become their daddy, and they have some opportunities here now.
So there's an interesting to bring it back to Reddit, as I always do. An interesting case study on the demographic of two popular sports subs, r/NBA and r/NFL. As you would know, the NFL pulls ridiculous viewership in the US still, constantly the top streaming sport by viewer totals for big games. Super Bowl's a whole thing. But the NBA, even though it has less viewership, has a significantly larger sub count for the subreddit. A lot more people, and a lot of people describe it because the NBA has a lot more like
younger
year-round like nitty-gritty drama. And when they do the demographic spread of the people on the subreddit, the age gap of 21 to 13 is like such a large chunk of the NBA subreddit compared to when they do the NFL one, where the chunk is much bigger with 30 to 50.
I'm imagining a 50-year-old Redditor in my mind is just
they're out there
making a wonderful picture.
He's got a very long soul patch.
a flavor saver.
Flavor saver.
All that to say that it does appear that younger demographics seem to gravitate more towards theoretical drama.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense because they are undeveloped brains. All right, folks. That was a good one.
That's what we're going to end on, folks.
Yes. If we have any younger listeners out there, go develop your brain some more, then come back.
Go finish a Rubik's Cube.
We will say we'd love to see you on Twitch ourselves. As we criticize the platform, we got to plug our own Twitch channel. But
but we don't do the drama.
Yeah, we just play games.
We just play video games. Jokes. Talk about video games.
Come join us. Who knows? Maybe we'll start streaming on YouTube. But you can follow our YouTube as well, just Campaign Comrades, but the Twitch is at @campaign_comrades.
So streaming on YouTube streamlines the uploading process.
Yes. If you like the podcast, be sure to check out our Tuesday night news live streams where we talk about all the stuff that gets cut from the podcast. But then we have our weekly streams, individual. Come check us out. We'd love to see you. Love to hear from you. Give us a like and a follow if you want to give us a review here on the pod. Always appreciate it. Does us a world of good.
5 stars only.
Yeah, only good reviews as always.
Yeah, and you better only give me good reviews if you check out my TCG Player store. I cut them like gaming, otherwise I'll eat you in oblivion.
Yeah. 2 out of 5 mid.
All right, we love you very much. We will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.